Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The Christmas Eve DRF race of the day is race number 4 at Gulfstream Park. We're going a one-turn mile. Let's throw up the field. Optional claimer for fillies and mares. Non-winners of two other than is the condition 62,500, the optional claiming price. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Access them, handicap along with us. Mike, there's only a field of 6. But I think you get a little bit of everything in here. You've got 4 fairly strong contenders, a couple of sharp horses stepping up in class, and a back classer coming off a long layoff.
I agree with you. It's a very interesting race. It all sort of hinges on, I think, what you get from the number 5, Median, who's the 2-to-1 morning line favorite, because as you mentioned, she has the back class. She was a good 2-year-old, but she's only managed 1 start so far this year, Dan, and it was not a good performance.
Not sure how fast this pace is going to be. Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector. I agree that Movie Moxie and the 1 and the 3, This My Time, these fillies should be forwardly placed. Maybe the 4, Choose Joy, can get up close. Sky Chaser, more of a stalking type. In a short field, I think you always have to worry that the pace might be kind of moderate.
No, I agree. I didn't see a lot of speed in the race. That has to be some kind of a concern for the morning line favorite, who is definitely not a speed horse. Boy, I think it's pretty tough to tell what's going to happen early in this race, Dan. It's not like there are any real blazers.
Movie Moxie is the number 1, the expected pace setter according to Timeform US. She does not need the lead to win, and she's never been off the board from 5 lifetime starts. She won comfortably at Churchill Downs last time out, tracking the pace on the outside. That was a race, though, that was washed off the turf, and a lot of times you have to kind of look at these off-the-turf races with a sideways glance. How good were those races? But she ran well, she looked good, and she got a fig.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, it's fair enough to look at it a little skeptically, I guess. She was entered main track only that day, beating basically turf horses. It was, however, a very impressive win visually, Dan. I mean, she crushed that field through the stretch with a pretty nice run. I don't know what she was beating, but she ran pretty well, it looked like. Her win 2 back, I guess that was good too. I wasn't quite as impressed with her win 2 back, Dan, and I really don't like the horse that was second to her.
The 2 is Victory Crusade. Now, Victory Crusade, both of her wins have come on wet tracks. She's 0 for 10 on dry going. Last time out, she ran in one of the Claiming Crown races. She was 38-1. She really didn't fire, and she doesn't have a lot of speed. So for her, she's going to linger near the back of the pack and hope this pace is faster than expected.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, there are, as you mentioned in the open, there are some interesting horses in here, but I didn't really feel like she was one of them.
The number 3, This My Time, is 7-2 on the morning line. If she runs her last race, she's going to win and make 7-2. If she goes off that price, a bargain. Let's watch her most recent race, another off-the-turf race over a sloppy track, no less, at Gulfstream Park West. The Sunshine Millions filly and mare, quote, turf preview, washed off the turf. She wins this race by the length of the stretch with a 96 buyer.
She looked really good winning this race. I mean, she had good speed from the start, even with a horse, sending to her inside. She was just unfazed by that, took over at will. Really impressive win in fast time. You have the sloppy track to deal with. Her races prior to that were good, but they weren't that good. We'll see if she can back it up.
Both wins lifetime against Florida breds. She'll have to do it here against Open Company. The 4 is Choose Joy. Now, maybe Choose Joy just didn't care for the 2 turns last time out when she finished well behind Victory Crusade. There wasn't a lot of pace for her to run at. She was relatively close in mid-pack, and then she just couldn't go with Dream Marie, who's a pretty nice mare. Turning back in distance helps. That fig 2 starts back has her as a fringe contender.
I think so. I mean, she's a horse who does look like she has plenty of early speed. So, getting out to the 1-turn mile might suit her a little better. And maybe she'll make the early lead in here, Dan. I won't be surprised if she takes a step forward.
You and I were fans of the 5 Maydeen, a $450,000 daughter of Tappet when she was with Mark Henning early in her career as a 2-year-old. You mentioned she's a stakes winner. She won the Tempted at this distance. I liked her Tempted race. She didn't break very well. She made a big 4-wide bid on the turn, and she drew away from the field in the stretch. And she backed that up in the Demoiselle in a race where she was kind of up against an inside speed favoring track. The issue is what you mentioned early on. We have not seen her since March. She only has 1 race since last December, and she doesn't have a lot of speed. But if she runs her best race, or if she comes back a mature, older filly, she's going to be very tough.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was really the only question of the race because, you don't know what you're going to get, I guess. It's been a long time. I mean, obviously, I feel like you could just have to look at the Busher way back in March where she just didn't show up at all and feel like something went wrong that day. We haven't seen her since that race. So maybe that's an excuse for her, Dan. If she comes back now ready to take a step forward off of her 2-year-old form, this field's in big trouble.
Perhaps handicapping this angle on December the 24th each year is not a good idea, but Sky Chaser, the number 6, well, she's the only older filly in the race, and she's pretty consistent. She's won 5 times. You know what you're going to get from a Beyer standpoint. It's going to be around the Beyer par of this race, an 80 or so, an 82. She pitches to Arad Ortiz, and again, she's going to probably trip out. She has the tactical speed to keep an eye on the 1 and the 3.
Yeah, can get a good trip in this race. And as you mentioned, very consistent as far as speed figures go. I mean, to me, it seemed pretty clear if, one of her more lightly raced rivals was going to take a step forward in here, then Sky Chaser's probably not going to win. The fact that Irad's riding might keep her price pretty low. I think that's another thing that you might want to have to, think about before you jump in on her. But, if Medine can't run anymore and this is my time is dressed up by the wet track and Movie Moxie's dressed up by, facing weaker fields, maybe Sky Chaser's in the right spot.
Let's watch Sky Chaser's last race. It was the Claiming Crown Glass Slipper, and she ran an okay third in here. She made a wide bid. You see her in the teal blinkers, sort of an even finish, but again, a usual good 82 Beyer. It seems she's coming into this race in good form. And again, she has that sort of tactical speed. Trainer Ron Spatz has gotten off to a very nice start at this meet. Sky Chaser's been on the board in her last 7 starts. We take a look at our top picks for this race. Medine is the class of this field, and she is now going out for Shug McGahee, who certainly can get a horse ready off a layoff.
I mean, that's true. I don't know what you're going to get, Dan. I'm not going to sit here and, advocate for her at a very short price with all the questions surrounding her. I just don't really like the alternatives. And so if she does, get bet off the board, I probably will not get involved in this race just because I didn't really want to bet anybody else.
Movie Moxie, the number 1, is taking a step up in class. She reminds me of one of the Eddie Keneally trained horses that did very well in 2019 named Lady Kate, who just got good at Gulfstream and continued her forward ascent throughout the year. And I wonder if Movie Moxie is ready to take that step forward. She cost a lot of money as a yearling, and she's looked good on the track, pulling away to win last time out. I'm going 1, 3, 6, and 4. Mike's going 5, 1, 3, 6. It's your Christmas Eve race of the day. The Thursday race of the day is the 4th at Gulfstream. Approximate post time, 1 o'clock Eastern. Good luck.